one genre that's really yet to get its shine on this series and generally on this channel is Afro-Cuban jazz. It's a genre that I've been quite a fan of for a little while now, and it's always been a genre that I've found to be one of the more underrated genres, undiscovered genres of general music love, because it's not really one that ever gets brought up by critics or generally music fans ever. You do see love every now and then for that Buena Vista Social Club album, which is pretty good, I guess, but it was never really one that I found to be one of the best in this style of music. Maybe that's just because I've dug into the genre a little bit more, and I do feel as though once you do dig into genres like this, you find some excellent pieces of music, and Orchestra Baobab is really one of the best you could possibly find in a genre like this. They do have a decent size audience, I suppose. They are known by a decent amount of people that know this genre, but in the grander scheme of things, they certainly fit this umbrella term, Undiscovered Gems, quite nicely, and I couldn't not mention Specialist in All Styles, because this is really one of the best albums of the 2000s and easily one of the best albums of 2002. They are a band from Senegal, and they do combine other elements of music together to create this really, really fantastic sound. It's an incredibly vibrant album. It is very much one for the summer, I suppose you could call it. They do have elements of Wolof music in their style, which I'm not entirely familiar with as much as I am with Afro-Cuban jazz, but I feel as though I need to familiarize myself with it after hearing an album like this. They do have other great albums as well. Made in Dakar from 2007 isn't quite as poignant and as strong, but it pleases the ears in a similar way that this one does here. They're just one of the most tasteful bands you could ever stumble upon, to be honest. Like the summery sounds that clash together, the wonderful performances from everyone in the band. And one of my favorite things about the way this band crafts their music is just how they incorporate the saxophone. The friggin' sax just comes in at the perfect points. Like, wow, they hit it just so well. The sax is never like the focal point of each track. It's not like it overrides the songs, and even if it did, it wouldn't be a terrible thing anyway. But like the way they just like swoop it in just so naturally, it just works so well. You have to hear the album to know what I'm talking about here. Their ear for melody is just so on point. Like they know when to include the right instruments at the right times. And even though they're not the only band ever to do this, I just have this love for this band, particularly because of their attention to detail. Like they do just think about things so meticulously. Everything's just put in its right place, and you can just hear it every song. The earthly percussion throughout as well has a really natural feel to it. The friggin' melodic undertones of everything on this album, everything has its own melody. It's wonderful to listen to, and then the vocals have this really enchanting, uplifting feel to them. Sometimes, you know, they go for a bit more of like an upbeat tone, but then sometimes they go for a bit more of an atmospheric tone. Everything just comes together so well. The opening track being one of the more catchiest ones here. I love this track, man. It just makes you want to grab your non-existent wife and just take her for a dance on an evening in Spain or somewhere, I don't know, Italy, wherever you want to be. Whatever's romantic, you choose. It's up to you. The goddamn infectious salsa energy that comes on El Son Te Llama. This one is just so good. Can't really pick a favorite track, honestly, but sometimes I think it's this one, sometimes I think it's the opening track, sometimes it's even the closing track. The closing track just ends things so well, and it's a 9-track album, and it does run for like 50 minutes, but it could honestly keep going. Like, I'd love to hear this band just go on for like 90 minutes. They could probably take things in directions that most of the bands probably wouldn't be able to. This album has a wonderful classiness to it, but it also knows how to have the right amount of fun as well. There's not a lot else I can say here, because it just really is one of those albums that pleasures your ears, and you don't really need to explain a great deal about it to understand what exactly makes it so bloody great. Please check this out if you never have. Like I said, it's a major highlight, I think, for 2000s music and music in this genre at large. And if you have dug into more of this music, then send me some recommendations that I may never have heard, because again, I'm learning just as much as you are too. So it's a fun experience for us to learn about these albums together and discover more and more music as we go on. Also want to do a little thank you to Fantano for mentioning the Shibararu, I still don't know how you say that name, the Shibarazu, the Japanese jazz fusion band, on his most recent Let's Argue video. And the Let's Argue video was underrated albums. Of course, I highlighted it on this very series as an undiscovered gem. So him mentioning that, the sheer mention of it actually just generated so much traffic to my channel and that video. So it's really cool to see. So if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have had such a great growth in the past 24 hours. So of course, I'm going to keep this series alive, keep this series going, because it has so much benefits to the listeners of my channel. People watching learn so much about new music, and I'm just going to keep it going because it's a great feeling to know that I can push that onto other people. So yeah, thank you for watching my video. Hopefully you check this album out. Let me know your thoughts on the album too if you've heard it, and have a good day. Subscribe and goodbye.